Welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter podcast, your number one source of all things bodybuilding. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on future episodes. Now, here's your host, Leroy Rollins.
What is happening, guys? Welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter podcast, another Q&A episode where you guys ask the questions and I'm giving you the answers. So as per usual, we threw up the Ask Me a Question on my Instagram story, and this one, I thought since we're in peak week, we're nearing the end of our contest prep, I would ask the question regarding, ask me something about contest prep, and I'll answer them as best I can. So I've got some questions here on my phone. I've got 5 that we're gonna go through today real quick. Try to keep this short and sweet. Today is Wednesday, the 10th of April. So we are approaching show day this Saturday. So we're 3 days out. I just finished my workout actually, and then we're gonna finish this podcast, and we're gonna get that post-workout meal in. So figure I got time to film this, so we might as well get it done. Right, question 1, my biggest struggle during prep. This has changed over the years. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that this is my 7th show now, I think. I did my first one back in 2015, so we've been around the block a few times. And over the years, things have changed. Different struggles have come up. Different struggles have gone. The biggest one with this one, in particular, was being now extremely busy and having more adulting to do, for lack of a better term. This prep, I've been the busiest I've been with work. My girlfriend and I bought a house. We got a puppy. We got a kitten. Just a lot of life had come up, I guess you could say, during this prep and had been in the works over the course of this prep. So just balancing that with, you know, the diet and the training and the cardio and all the things that come along with a contest prep, that was hard for me. It didn't derail me, but it took me being more on top of my time management and staying on top of things a bit more, and, you know, knowing when to delegate time to certain things, right? So if, you know, stuff around the house needed to be done, I couldn't just brush it off to the side because I had to cook my meals and stuff. Like, I had to make sure, okay, like, these things are done. This is my time to meal prep. This is my time to eat. This is my time to train. I had to be very on top of that. And for you guys that are in that same boat, it's a lot different than when you're still living at home, or you're you know, even in school, right? You have responsibilities, but nowhere near as much as when you're out on your own. So, you know, I didn't have my mom to cook chicken for me when I didn't feel like it, or I didn't have her to throw my laundry in when I didn't feel like doing laundry. Like, all those things you kind of take for granted, especially when you're in a prep. All of a sudden you do realize that, you know, it's all on you even more than just the diet and the training. So that would be my biggest struggle, I'd say, this prep, is just time management and managing life at this stage where I'm at. Question number 2, what does my peak week look like? Which is convenient because that's where we're at right now. So peak week, guys, this week, we're trying to get under a certain weight. We're trying to get under 154 pounds for weigh-ins Friday night. So this week we've had to be pretty conservative with a lot of things. Training this week is upper body, right? Just kind of fluff workouts, little pump sessions. Today's tentatively the last one, but might do one more tomorrow, just depending on how I look tomorrow morning, and what my weight and photos for my coach tell him. Cardio wise, we've got cardio today and then one more session tomorrow morning, and then we're done for cardio. The only other 2 little variables are water. We're loading water up until today, and then we're going to slowly dial back water and sodium to try to get the water out of my system, and then anticipating having to do a little sauna session Friday morning to try to sweat it out and hold that weight for weigh-ins Friday night. And then nutrition is pretty much the same all week, just kind of staying on plan, again, up until hitting weight Friday night, and then we'll start the carb up process. Ideally, we would probably carb up slowly tomorrow, Thursday, and slowly Friday, but we can't do that because that's not going to help me make weight. This will be the last year that I try to hit that weight class. Right now, we're already pushing it at me being 157 right now, and then trying to get under 154. Next time I compete in a couple years, there's no way I make that. Like, I'll be bigger by then. So this is our last year to squeak into that class, so that's what we're going to do. And then, game plan is to walk away with a win in that class, qualify for the overall, and then do our damnedest to win that overall. So that's what peak week is looking like. For me, it's different than many other people, just because of the situation I'm in. Some people will carb load at the beginning of the week and taper down. Some will stay very, very low and do like a rapid carb load at the end of the week. Some just stay consistent. It's very different for everybody, guys, and then the situation that you're in can dictate, what you're doing. And what my peak week looks like is what's going to work for me and what we're going to do for me, but might not be the same for you. So what I'm doing, again, is for me. I'm not suggesting you do a water load and a water cut and a sodium and all that kind of stuff. Like, this is very specific to my situation with what my coach is having me do. So that's what peak week is looking like. As I said, today was the last kind of real hard day, and then tomorrow and Friday we kind of get to lay low with training and just a little bit of cardio. And then Friday's going to be hard with the water cut, because after I do the sauna session in the morning, I probably won't be able to drink a whole lot during the day. Basically sips here and there so I don't die and feel like garbage, but I'll be very, very fatigued Friday. And then once we hit weigh-in, then we'll be able to recharge back up. Next question was resources on where to learn about peak week. Number 2, what am I trying to say here? The number 1 and 2 resources I could suggest is Cliff Wilson. He is a natural bodybuilder and a very, very high profile natural bodybuilding coach. He's got a ton of information out there about peak week, guys, and what his protocols are, what he's done. He actually just released a new book that's going to go into all that stuff, so I encourage you to go check him out. And then Team 3DMJ, I've been following them for a very long time and have the utmost admiration for what they do as coaches and athletes. Eric Helms actually just competed, I think, this past weekend. So between Eric Helms, Alberto Nunez, Jeff Alberts, Brad Loomis, Andrea Valdez, Team 3DMJ are a huge resource of information that I go to. So if you're looking to learn about peak week and different strategies and different protocols and what people do, why they do it, Cliff Wilson and Team 3DMJ. Those are my 2 for sure. Next question, how do I feel prep went overall? As a whole, this prep has gone very, very well, especially, as I mentioned in the beginning, with the life stuff going on and then doing it with my girlfriend. There was that little bit of skepticism of how it was going to affect our relationship, and I can say from the bottom of my heart, it's done nothing but bring us closer together. Experiencing this together, going through this together, fighting through it together. I couldn't be more proud of what we've been able to do as a couple. But for myself, prep as a whole, we took longer, which I think in the long run was good, because it's allowed me, I believe, to maintain more muscle through the diet. I feel like I've got, a good full look. Everything is looking very good, very sharp, very proportioned. I'm happy with that. Happy with where my physique is at. I know it's better than last time. Of course, there's areas I want to improve upon, like my physique as a whole. Just in general, I want to get better, right? But in comparison to last show and in looking at where I'm at now, I'm extremely happy, but always looking forward for improvement. There were times when it was tough, of course. There's going to be those times, but I would say those were very few and far between looking at prep as a whole. I would say, if I prepped for, 28 weeks total, there was 2 weeks total where I felt like garbage, right? Days here and there where I just didn't feel good. I was like, oh man, like this is prep. This is prep. But those days were, I would say, up until about 6 weeks ago, I felt very, very good. It wasn't until these last 6 weeks that it really kind of started to hit in with like the diet fatigue and, getting into those lower weights. Once I get to like sub 160s, that's when I start to feel it. So, but overall, guys, prep as a whole, I felt has gone really, really good, and I'm extremely happy with the package we're going to bring to the stage this weekend. And my last one is biggest advice for first/new competitors. As cliche as it sounds, guys, you gotta enjoy the process. This is a sport in quotes, where at the end of the day, some people are gonna like your physique, some people aren't. But you gotta be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, this is what I've built, this is what I've accomplished, and I'm happy with it. Again, we always want to improve. There are always gonna be parts, we want to improve upon and get better. Oh, this muscle could be bigger, this muscle could be, I could get a little bit leaner here, I could get a little bit more fat off here. That's the name of the game, but you gotta be in this for yourself. You got to be in this for that constant personal progression and chasing the physique. That's a quote by 3DMJ Jeff Alberts, and that couldn't be more true. The trophies, yeah, they're cool, but I can honestly say I've never sat down with my Canadian Nationals first place medal and just glared at it with pure joy after the show was done. Like that day, sure, I'm all elated that I accomplished that goal for myself and all this, but at the end of the day, I want like 20 years from now to build this physique that's just people look at and they're like, wow, like that took effort, that took time, that took hard work. Like that's the goal for me, and for you guys listening to this, especially as natural competitors, it's a long process to get anything substantial. So if you're not in it, if you're in it for the short term, admiration from your peers of going on stage, or you're in it for the short term win and all that stuff, I think you're going to burn out really quickly, and you're going to kind of get resentment towards it, because for many of us, there's not, $100,000 sponsorship deals, and there's not, shiny cars and all these fancy things. Like you got to be in it because you love it. You got to be in it because you're doing it for yourself, because you want to build something personally, great for yourself, right? I think too many people get in it for the wrong reasons. They get in it for, again, the admiration of their peers, or for that Instagram post, right? That's huge now, right? Do it for the gram. I just don't agree with that. I think you gotta be able, like, if you didn't have this, if you couldn't post a single progress photo or post a single shredded picture, would you still do it, right? That's the question you gotta ask yourself, and I think far too many people have the wrong answer to those questions. I think those answers would be no. A lot of people would kind of fade out and not train nearly as hard, or do it, because they love it. They're doing it because of the attention they get from other people. So biggest piece of advice, guys, do it for yourself and love the process. So I think that's number one advice I can give you. So guys, hope you enjoyed this little podcast, this little Q&A regarding contest prep, a couple things about peak week and all that good stuff. So as I said at the beginning, we're 3 days out. Show is this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be vlogging probably the next few days, 2 days out, 1 day out, show day. So stay tuned for those videos. They'll be coming pretty rapidly over the next week or so. So hope you guys enjoy. Again, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.